it's very like male. Y'all were not kidding about this being sad. Hello and welcome to the vlog. I'm doing 2 month-long reading vlogs this month, so it's a little bit confusing for me, but probably not for you. But I have already finished the first book, like you saw. I started and finished very quick book. I finished reading my sister the serial killer. This is a story about a young woman whose sister is a serial killer, and she knows that her sister is a serial killer, but she's got the charm, she's got the good looks, and she's able to very much get away with it, but not without her sister's help. Like, her sister definitely, like, you know, like cleans up, you know, after her, but she's always claiming that, like, these guys, this is all like guys, like very man-eater vibes, that she's murdering, like, you know, self-defense or whatnot. And kind of slowly over the course of the book, you see the sister getting like more suspicious of that, and especially because her sister's a kind of target who's like just basically she just kills her boyfriend. So like her next boyfriend is someone that the sister like worked with and also like was interested in romantically. So she was not very happy about that. But it was an interesting story. I think it was solid. I think that it was just so short, and so it couldn't do enough that I wanted it to, and like it wasn't that particularly scary, I guess, in some ways. This is a book by a Nigerian author, and it was solid. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't my favorite, but I definitely think that the writing was really good, and I would like to read more from this author. I don't know what I'm reading next, but I did want to update you that I have read the first book for this video, and that's about it. Next book I picked up for this video is Exit West. I cannot read this. Oh, I can't read that font either. By Mohsin Hamid. This author is from Pakistan, and this is a story that I actually picked up this book. I picked it up used at a bookstore like forever ago, but I also like started it like a year ago, and then I think I lost my loan or something from the library for the audiobook. Anyway, I'm listening to it and reading it physically because I have the book, like why not? But basically this centers around 2 main characters. Their names are Nadia and Saeed. It talks about their relationship and how their relationship is affected by the impending civil war like around them in their country, and how that affects their like unit of a relationship. Obviously they are at some point going to exit west. I'm not there yet. It's a very short story. It plays around with time in a very interesting way. Not only like is it short, but like breaks in the page. Like there's a lot of breaks in the page that kind of like skip around in time, or they go to the other perspective. Not skip around, but like jump forward in time, I guess I should say. Pacing is very quick. Like it moves very fast. And like I said, I believe this is magical realism. So I believe like the magical element in here are doors. Doors are some of my favorite magic systems, and I am so glad that I now know that. There are so many books with doors and like magic doors that I love, like Narnia, hello, like the 10,000 Doors of January, the Starless Sea, like portal magic is just like really great. That's what it's called. It's not called door magic, Pia. So I started this. I am now 54 pages into it, which is around the 24% mark. I listened to some of this while I was doing the rough edits for my video and on sprints earlier. If you didn't know, I host reading sprints now. That's my new thing. So this is going to be the next book that I read for this video. I don't think it's going to take me very long, so I might not have that many updates. I'm hoping to have at least one more before I finish it, because I'm bad at updating the vlog. But yeah, I'm enjoying this, and like I'm definitely excited to see where it goes with that magic. I finished my book. So I finished Exit West. I'm giving this 3 stars. It's just not my type of thing. Made muffins and meatballs. Lots of baking today. It's just not my type of story. It's a slow story. I hesitate in saying not a lot happens. The characters themselves are very passive to what's going on and like in their own lives in some ways. So it's hard to like really get into. The author's writing does remind me a lot of the author of The Namesake. Like the way that they construct characters is very similar. It reminded me of The Namesake in some ways. But it just wasn't really my thing, and that's fine. I don't want anyone to take out of this video that like one book I read like speaks for all people, all writers, all works that come out of that place. I get worried. Anyways, so I finished this book. The next book I'm going to start is actually, I think, the only book for this video that is by an author I've already read from before, and that is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I've read 2 other books by Frederick Bachman, Just People and The Way Home Gets Longer and Longer. I have given both 5 stars. This is a book that is about a hockey team and about a girl who joins a previously all boys hockey team, and she is dealing with, I believe, a lot of I guess like pushback from that. It is supposed to be very hard-hitting and very emotional. I know it's also a series, I want to say, or at least there's companion novels of it, not an actual like series. My eye is like so freaking dry right now. Sorry, I'm not crying, it's just my eyes are dry. So I'm going to start this now, and I will let you know once I get further into it. Y'all, we're not kidding about this being sad. I am now a little less than halfway into Beartown, so I'm gonna give you an updated synopsis. I did cry because it's very emotional. I was totally wrong about what this book is about, and now, like, you know, since like reading almost half of it, I was like, yeah, I knew that's what it was about. I don't know what I was talking about before. This is about a town, Beartown, who doesn't really have anything going for them except their football team, so they're very, very invested in their football team, and many, if not all of the people in the town, that is kind of like their one thing that they really care about. I'm coming to understand that this is a thing that Frederick Bachman likes to do, which is we follow many different characters in the town, like the coaches, the players, the friends, the daughters of the coach, you know, like just kind of all different perspectives. And I think that Bachman just has such a mastery of character. Like, he is able to have such control over the different voices that he's embodying and making them each distinct and the transitions seamless. Like, I was really worried because, like, in general, I don't like books with a lot of perspectives. I don't like books with a lot of characters. I'm like, let's stick to the basics because I just think it's easier to do, easier to pull off if there's less. But like, he really, like, I don't know, he like in some ways he like proved me wrong. I was like, oh, like there are gonna be so many perspectives, I'm gonna get so confused, and I'm not at all. I know who each character is intimately, and it's a really heavy book. It deals with a lot of triggering content, so I would recommend looking that up. Just to mention it, there is like harassment and bullying and sexual assault, which are some big things that are tackled and on page and talked about. There is this shift, you know, around the halfway point in the novel, if you kind of see what the narrative has been leading up to, although there is like a first thing that the narrative is leading up to, which I'm assuming is going to happen at the end, because it is kind of like anxious people in the way that it tells you something that's going to happen before it happens. Like it plays with time in a way. Like some of the narration is sort of like retrospective and like reflective, being like, if she would have known that this wouldn't be this way anymore, or something. I'm making shit up, get a better idea of what I mean. Yeah, so there is this like shift midway, and then I guess there's gonna be another big thing that happens at the end. It's a lot. It's definitely it's a lot, but it's Bachman, and he just, like, his writing is so comforting, and you do feel so close with all these people and these characters, and I tried to combine that word, that I don't feel like this heavy like burden of reading it that I think can sometimes happen with books that cover heavy like subject matter. You kind of feel like I don't know, they bring you down in some way, and of course this is like really sad, but I don't feel like, I think the way that he's handling it is realistic, but I guess like hopeful in some ways. I'm not sure because I haven't finished so I'm making a lot of assumptions of where I think it's gonna go based on the previous things that I've read. Yeah, I just wanted to update that I'm really liking it, and it's making me sad. Hello, my friends. This is what I'm currently reading. I have switched this out, okay. I'm reading I'm the Messenger by Marcus Zusak because the other book I was gonna read for a book from Oceania, from someone from New Zealand or Australia, was gonna be Gideon the Ninth, and it's too long and I don't want to read it and I'm very over doing this. So I picked this up. I'm the Messenger. It's like fine. I have read a Marcus Zusak before. I read The Book Thief probably like 5 years ago now, back when it was really popular, and I didn't love it. I thought it was a little silly, but this one is like, this guy stops a bank robbery and then he starts getting these like playing cards sent to him in the mail with these like addresses and times, and he has to basically like help these people or stop something from happening or avenge something or something like that, but he doesn't exactly know what he's walking into every time he does that. But it's like he's like the good Samaritan. Like I feel like that's what this book should be, because he's not really, I guess he's sending a message, but like no. I'm like 20% into it. I actually had to restart it because I was listening to it last night and then I was like, no idea what's going on, guys. So yeah, I'm like 20% into it. It's very like male, you know, it's very of its time, I guess, because it's just very like every female character that walks into the scene, you're like, just objectifying her immediately. All right, cool. I'm glad we're here. Glad we could add to the set dressing of this scene. Oh, I was gonna see when this came out, in 2006. That seems like way too recent. To me, it feels like yesterday. Just yesterday when I was 4 years old. So yeah, I'm reading this right now. It's fine. I like the narration style, I guess. I think it's interesting. I think that's something that Marcus Zusak, I guess, likes, is playing with narration. And the plot is fine. I'm not sure where it's gonna go yet, so we shall see. So I realized that I never wrapped up like 3 of the books that I was talking about in this video, slash like just didn't tell you about them, and I need to do that because I already edited this video. So let's do that. Somehow I don't have a clip of me telling you I finished Beartown. I finished Beartown like relatively quickly in like 1 or 2 days. I flew through that book. It's a heavy book, like I said, but I think that Frederick Bachman doesn't make light of it, but I think he handles it in such like an effortless way that it doesn't feel like a burden to read. You know, it was really good. I don't know why I called Beartown a football town and not a hockey town. Like, I don't know what was going on in my head. It is this like hockey town that's like kind of pinned against each other and making this young girl's like trauma essentially being an issue of like sports politics. It's really good. I gave it 5 stars. It's Frederick Bachman. I already put a hold on the next 2 books in the series. And then I told you I started I'm the Messenger. I ended up DNFing this book in February. I held myself to read a lot of books that I wasn't enjoying, and I'm back in my DNF era, thank God. Because like I said, this was like so male gazy. At one point the narrator has this like fixation on this like 15-year-old girl. No. Didn't love that. No, it was just not working for me. So I DNF'd it, but I got like 70% through it or something, like 60-70% into it. So I counted it anyways. And then I kind of forgot. I was like, I didn't read anything from the Americas. I also didn't know what the challenge was. I was doing a challenge through the Boston Public Library because they were having this like read from all 6 geographic regions, and you might be entered to win a $20 gift card. And you know what's funny is because I read it as you would win the $20 gift card, so I made myself read all these books, and I was like, I also gave myself half the time. Anyway, so I was like, oh, I could use anything for the Americas prompts, but I was like already getting out of my TBR zone. So I will tell you that I did read Sweet Hand, and I counted it towards the challenge. I could have counted a lot of books that I read towards the challenge, because guess what? I read a lot of books from the Americas. But this one in particular is really cool because the author is from the Caribbean. I just didn't want to do anyone from like the States. I feel like that's like not the point of the challenge, to expand your horizons. I really liked this book. I thought it was really sweet. It is a romance book about a baker. Her sister is getting married to this guy's best friend, and he is the best man and she's the maid of honor, and they don't really like each other, and they're forced to kind of like work together to do wedding stuff, I guess. But I love it because she's a baker and he is like a musician, or like music producer or something. Yeah, like music producer. And she had like this other guy that she dated who was like big in the music scene, and he like really broke her heart. Was a horrible person actually. But I just like love their dynamic and them working together, because it's not like they just kind of like bug each other. It's not like they like hate each other for any reason. They're not like, he's my nemesis, like, no. Which I appreciate, because I just don't like when stories start off like that and then I'm like, okay, then show me you at each other's throats. Like, absolutely. So I really like that. There's a cat. It's very sweet. It's kind of like friends to benefits situation to lovers, But I think the like progression of it is very sweet. It doesn't have like too much like of like annoying miscommunication. I just think it was done really well. I think it like didn't bother me. It didn't use a lot of tropes in ways I wasn't happy with, and I thought it was a good story. I gave it 4 stars. I am actually really excited to read the companion novel to this because I thought they were really cute. And then I did end up starting, and I'm like in the middle of As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. Marked this as read in my form, but I have not finished it. I was physically reading this and just like didn't have the time to finish it, but I am like gonna finish this vlog, so it's just not gonna happen in this vlog. I'll finish it eventually, I promise. Because I am liking it. It's a book about a young woman who has started being a nurse in Syria to help out because people are getting killed left, right, and center. And she and her best friend slash sister-in-law are trying to leave and escape to Germany. And to do that, they need to get on a boat and like pay their way and stuff, and like kind of like it's all kind of like difficult to arrange because her best friend is pregnant, and like they want to obviously leave. But she kind of is torn because she's like, I can do this work in the hospital and I can like help so many people, and like if I leave, people are just gonna keep dying, and like how do I contend with that? But there's also this kind of like speculative kind of magical realism element where there is a character who kind of like is a figment of the main character's imagination. I'm like so bad with character names. So she's having this kind of like physical manifestation, visual manifestation of like kind of her deepest worries, and that also sends her back to kind of like reliving past traumas, you know, seeing a lot of her family die, and just kind of, it's kind of, I don't know, this might be me reading too much into it, but it feels just like an allegory for like for like anxiety and like trauma and like PTSD, you know, but like in a physical form of like almost like a death-like character, but not. And that's really interesting. I think that's like an interesting part of the story that makes it unique, and I do really so far like it. I just did not finish it in time for this video, and I do think I am going to finish it. It has incredible ratings on Goodreads. I mean, like, yeah, I just feel like there is such a good following this book, and so I'm excited to like finish it. So those are all of the books that I read for this video. I read 6 different books from 6 different regions of the world, and I tried my best. Yeah, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you in my next video.